You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily represent those of the network, its advertisers, owners, or sponsors.
Hey, what's going on? We are...
if only you people could hear the conversations that we just had for the last 5 minutes.
It's awful. Awful. Hey, this is episode 243 of the IT and the D show. And
220, 221, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. The place was no power yesterday because of the Ice-Mageddon in Detroit. We were recording on a Tuesday, and that's totally fine by me. We were talking all things Penguicon. Scott Kennedy, Dan Dugan in the house. Yo. We are going to have a great time. If you followed us for any short period of time, you know that Penguicon
haven't created a belt yet.
Is our Super Bowl of cons, and it should be a fun show because it's one of our favorite topics.
It really is.
So, Dave, you may fire when ready.
The City of Warren presents Warren's Big Brew Festival, Saturday, April 28th, featuring 9 Macomb County breweries, plus a special home brewers contest. There's something for everyone in the family with live bands, food trucks, and a petting zoo. If you love competition, try your luck and enter the Cornhole Tournament. The $5 admission charge is all it takes to get you into Warren's Big Brew Festival, Saturday, April 28th, from noon to 7 p.m. at Halmish Park.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
I'm Wyatt, that's Gary, you're Bob, and you're Dave. This is the IT and the D Show.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Just where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Hi, this is Christy Swanson, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. And Bob and Dave touch my hoo-hoos.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly. Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
This is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley, and the only two guys I hate more than Dinesh are Bob and Dave. Suck it, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the beak off.
Hi, this is Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science. So, Bob and Dave, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Are we at a break yet?
Hey, everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and you're listening to IT in the D. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds? Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Hey, Detroit, this is Anthony Michael Hall. You're listening to my buddies Bob and Dave on IT in the D.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump. The IT in the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
Hey, what up? This is Jay Muse, and you're listening to the IT and D Show. Snooch to the nooch. Listen, Muse, Snoogans.
Hey, everybody, this is Tony Todd. What's happening? You may know me from Candyman, The Rock, Sushi Girls, Zoom, Night of the Living Dead. A lot of pop culture media madness. Anyway, you're listening to IT in the D Show. Business.
I'm totally into Dave, but not so much Bob.
This is Robert Hayes, the Jet Striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Hi, this is David Kay, the voice of Megatron from Beast Wars. Excellent, yes.
And, of course, Clank from Ratchet and Clank.
And Grandpa Max from the new Ben 10. Yes, Professor Xavier from X-Men Evolution. Storm! Logan, where is Storm? Storm! Come here, Storm. Sit on my lap, Storm. Yes.
You're listening to IT in the D. Don't go away.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Oh!
Hi, this is Bruce Pritchard. You're listening to, what the hell, the IT and the D Show? What kind of name is that? But just in case you were wondering, I do love you.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
What is up? Thanks for listening. You've reached the one and only IT in the D Show, and we've made it all the way to episode 243, recording here in Studio One on a Tuesday.
It does feel weird.
Feels so
weird.
weird.
My whole week is sort of like I forgot that this morning was trash day because usually I get home after the show and I bring the trash out. I had nothing.
We're here. The power's restored back at Podcast Detroit, so we're here on a Tuesday night.
It's all Dan's fault.
This is
seriously. We've booked Dan on the show twice. Both times the power's gone out.
You know what? 'Cause he's
once
not-
in the Ferndale studio, once here.
He has a Russian hat and cowboy boots. It's totally, it ruins everything. This is Bob the sales guy. That's Dave the geek. Nuri the FNG is still
in transit.
Yeah, he's in Peru. Peru. Find us online, itinthed.com, and do us a favor. Give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Hey, support for today's show comes from Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is your hub for teamwork in Office 365. With so much to look after, wouldn't it be great if there was just one place to look? I feel like we've said that once or twice, Bob. Teams is that single workspace where you can work, share, and connect with the people in your work life. Teams brings people together for your chats, meetings, files, and apps all in one place. Take teamwork where you work with apps for mobile and desktop. So whether you're sprinting towards a deadline or sharing your next big idea, Teams can help you and your team achieve even more. So here's the deal. You're going to take Microsoft Teams in Office 365. That's office.com/teams to learn more. Office.com/teams.
You mean we're like the only techies I think that still pass notes?
We do. We do. We hand more paper and emails with like version numbers of files back and forth.
Here's a 60 meg Excel sheet.
Right, with like 8. Yeah, we're the worst. Like I really feel like we should give this a shot because I feel like it would keep us from killing each other.
Seriously,
because I'm tired of _Bob edit _V2 _Dave edit _revision 4 _
that is my file system.
Yeah, exactly. _4/16/2018 _2.
So hey, do us a favor. Check out the Meet tab if you want to know where we're going to be. We got a bunch of stuff going on this Thursday. We're going to be at Falling Down Beer Company for a casual social. Bring some business cards or don't. Hang out with some IT folks. No cover, no speakers, no crap. Just a bunch of people hanging out. It's a fun time.
It should be a good time. And obviously it's us and it's Falling Down. So yeah, a good time will be had by all. That's
absolutely.
So hey, today's tax day, Bob.
Oh boy. Erwin R. Shyster says you better pay your taxes.
Right. And hey, breaking news, apparently not a lot of Americans are claiming Bitcoin income.
Stop.
I'm shocked.
Well, here's the thing. Has anyone sold in the last 3 months? Because it's tanked. I think everybody's holding, no?
Well, I would assume at some point in time last year somebody did.
Right.
Because somebody had to sell for other people to buy.
Well, Dan, weren't you saying earlier that the IRS website like crashed yesterday and they gave everyone a day extension?
Yep. So I didn't say that, but I do think that
it's true. It is true.
It happened?
It did happen. Yes, they crashed.
So wait, what crashed? So like irs.gov or the ability to e-file?
I believe it was the ability to e-file.
Okay. So my crap went through today.
Oh, you did do it today.
I totally did it today because I knew I owed.
My wife will be like, I figured out what is going to come in the mail, and I have already done our taxes, and she'll send it out, and then the mail will come in, and she'll be like, I was right on. Because we say in my family that her fandom is taxes.
See, now
That's disturbing. I know. It's good for me, though.
This is the first year that I wasn't, since I've had children, that I wasn't allowed to write them off. So I told my wife we're putting them up for adoption tomorrow. Since they can't be a write-off. Like, what's the use of having them if I can't?
Now they're just purely a cost center.
Exactly. Like, wait, what? You're not getting anything because I can't write you off.
So this is a good reason to send them to college, taxes.
Right, get to write that up. No, I make them take the student loans. I'm not paying for crap. You cost me $4,000 this year, you little weasels.
So I know you shot a note across about a Snapchat streak story, and you didn't include a link, so I got nothing.
So speaking of my kids, this blew my mind. And like middle school politics is something like we all remember those days. And we were
kinda.
I try not to.
Trying not to, but like there's politics and there's hierarchies and there's status symbols.
Is it the politics of dancing?
No one gets that except for 80s kids. So my kid's trying to explain to me how she's up to a streak of sending Snapchats for 374 days. I'm like in general or to someone in specific? No, that's over a year. You send a Snapchat once a day and you continue your streak.
Like to a person or like added to your story?
I don't either one.
Okay.
Like adding to. So I said, listen, little.
Because I know Facebook did that for a minute.
No.
Where they were like, hey, you've posted for X days in a row, and then that quietly went away.
So I go, listen, you little snot, I've grounded you at least twice from your phone. And she goes, oh, yeah, we exchange our username and password so my friends can post for me so my streak can continue. And I dropped my fork. We were eating at Polish Village, and I go, what?
Have I taught you nothing about security?
What? No, it's not even, I don't even care about that. But it's like, that's a status? Like, that's that important? Where I'm like, Dave, I'm not the mayor on
Right, is that the new Foursquare? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm not the mayor of National Coney Island. Dave, here's my login. Can you check in for me when you drive by?
I mean it was a proud moment when I became the mayor of your basement.
Deservedly so. But like, this is the thing. And she goes, yeah, Dad, it's kind of like a status thing at school. I go, that's a status. Like when I was like, it was wearing Jordache and having Air Jordans.
Right.
Was a status.
Right. Like, the varsity letter jacket.
Right.
You were the lead in the play.
QB1.
Yeah.
Dating a cheerleader. No, it's Snapchat.
Your Snapchat
streaks.
It's achievable, right? It's achievable. It's a low standard.
I think there's quantifiable status though. Like how many Instagram likes do you have? You can't come to the party.
I am 1/3 better than you because you have 200 and some.
The password is, what's your Snapchat streak? 4. Get out! Like, is that how you get into parties these days? Like, seriously, one of the dumbest conversations I've ever had. And again, it's I never want to say technology's passing me by because I think I'm in the forefront, and then I see stuff like this, and it makes me weep.
And I realized that maybe I'm not.
You forgot the biggest story of the week, though, or at least of last week. I know it's Tuesday and it's kind of passed a little bit, but our friend, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, sitting in front of Congress, for something,
dude, all the memes, all of the amazingness, all of the dude. If you ever for 2 seconds did not think that anybody who's been elected to Congress is an idiot,
no,
you simply needed to, or had no clue how the world worked.
Technology,
yeah.
The thing we learned,
just watch that.
The thing we learned out of this whole thing,
dude, because we're still making jokes about the tubes. Oh, the Google tubes. That was from what, 6-7 years ago?
Right.
Does your mother use Facebook?
No.
Well, my mother uses Facebook.
And my dad
grandmother
does.
used Facebook. Like, she's dead and gone, and these Congress people are still like, I have no idea what Facebook
Well, the thing is, these are the scary thing about this whole thing, and it wasn't necessarily
they're the ones passing laws about this shit.
They're the ones passing laws on technology and net neutrality, and just, the funniest meme to me the whole week was the one that said basically like, can you explain to me how my Farmville crops died when I've been on vacation?
When I've been offline for the past 6 days.
Exactly.
I powered my computer down. How did that happen, Mr. Zuckerberg?
But like we joke about this all the time. It's kind of like professors are professors because they can't hack it in the business world,
right?
Or at least business professors, right? Right. But like, so your service has been free for 15 years, Mr. Zuckerberg. How do you make money? We sell ads. And we're like, Jesus, the whole country in unison face palmed. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, oh, them newspapers are a quarter, so that means they make all their money on that quarter.
Right.
Like, what? Like, I buy a magazine, that's like, dude, oh.
Yeah, the whole thing, well, why don't you offer, the ability for people to download and delete their data? we do.
Well, he made that a point where he didn't answer he answered the question in a manner that was so true. It was back like, hey, we offer people the ability to check their privacy
and to opt out of ads and to opt out of this and to opt out of that. It's all there. It's not their fault people don't pay attention.
Well, let me break it down. You got my ma or my dad that's on Facebook. I don't expect my mother to have a firm grasp of her policy controls on a Facebook. So part of this is on Zuckerberg. It's dude, you know that it's confusing.
Does she understand how all the moving parts of her car work?
Gas, go, pull, drive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same thing.
Well, they were like, do you think that people by default should have more privacy? And he's like, no, I don't think that. I think
no, because if you're not paying for a service, you are the service.
But how would you expect people like your mom to know what to change?
Because everybody's on the Facebooks.
Yeah.
And you make it I don't want to say semi-difficult, but you make it for novice users to have a very difficult experience privatizing. I just made that word up. I don't care. Their experience on a tool that they know they don't need to use it, but I feel like you have to.
I'm sorry, the free service you are in no way obligated to use has mildly inconvenienced.
You know how it goes. If you're not on Facebook, I don't invite you to my Christmas party.
And your wife yells that she's not a host of your event when she's not on Facebook.
Right.
Dude, that was literally an argument that I had to step in the middle of. Like, she was yelling at him because she wasn't a host of their Facebook event for their Christmas party. And I'm like, Bo, you're not on Facebook. She's like, so? I'm like, you have to have an account to be made a host.
I'll make you an account.
Even though it was called Bob and Bo's Christmas Party Extravaganza Jubilee. I add a word every year.
You do.
You remember those toolbars? Like the browser toolbars?
Yeah, my dad has like
his
80
dad
of them.
has there's like this much screen and toolbars
because
on his dad's computer.
You have to like go into the custom before you install something.
Right.
And find a toolbar to uncheck it. Like,
yeah.
That's
so
how
my father's life on the internet involves trying to find obscure German radio stations. And each one of these players that he downloads, he never opts out of the toolbar. So when I go to his house, there's literally, I'm exaggerating when I say like the whole screen, but half the screen.
But not by much.
Half the screen is literally toolbars. And then he bitches at me that the internet browser is running a bit so slow. I'm like, Dad, like you got so much shit, like download it. Let me clean
Half
this
your
up.
bandwidth is consumed by sending your data to other companies.
So, I mean, let's go back to Mr. Zuckerberg. Like if you missed, he had, I don't know if I heard he's a short guy, but not like that short. He had
a booster seat,
couch cushion booster seat.
He had a booster seat
under his chair. Like
I mean, somebody stole that from like the room,
the couch.
Right. Like there's a chair that didn't have a seat.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. If that guy didn't look like he was from the TV show V, and he was going to peel back his skin and have freaking lizard eyes.
He kind of did a little bit.
Jeez,
that was the worst.
He
part.
looked like, and the fact that the memes with Data came out from Star Trek Next,
real quick.
He looked just like him, and it's like you couldn't discern between the two.
When Data looks like a more believable human.
Seriously. Like the way his eyes, like I get it, you're a billionaire and you're worth more than all of us for the rest of our lives, times
right?
a billion.
Yeah.
But we're
gonna find out he got his eyes replaced. They're digital.
They blink from the bottom.
I was gonna say, I'm sure like there's already YouTube videos out of the alleged conspiracy theory video footage of his eyes blinking from the sides. I'm sure it's out there. You know it is.
Those are hilarious, by the way.
You know it is.
Just give me 10 minutes. I got that.
You know what I want to talk about that I think is funny? I'm done with Zuckerberg. He's
Zuck that.
No. My last parting shot on that whole thing is it's funny how he got put through the ringer for privacy on social media, where we have our friends at
Equifax
and
Target,
right?
Every other breach that's happened,
every breach that's happened, where millions and millions of consumer data has been leaked.
It's in the news for like a day.
Facebook was just following their established business model. It wasn't even a breach. It wasn't.
Yeah.
No, someone sold something they shouldn't.
Right.
But it was within the guidelines of what they agreed
We made
to.
them promise.
Yeah, the
How
users
come-
agreed to it.
You know, like
right?
like
They pinky swore.
I mean, think of it this way, right? So let's say it was Russia that was behind that company, right? We made the state, the country of Russia promise not to steal this data. Oh my God, they did it anyway.
Right. Go figure.
So one of the things I want to talk about, which I think is funny, if you followed Dave and I for a while, we have a side podcast, and it's called
and it's called. We're going to bring that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to because I feel compelled to. I spent a half an hour of my life listening to that other podcast. So we do a
Really, you gave it that long?
So we do a podcast where we rip on 1-star Yelp reviewers. And it's been something we've been doing for years, and it made us laugh. And we said, let's record it. It'd be hilarious. And to us, it makes us laugh. Well, then all of us.
And to a lot of other people,
well,
it makes them laugh.
Unbeknownst, we thought 3 people, I'd listen and laugh, and you. But like all of a sudden, we won like top 50 podcasts of 17.
Right.
Like, wait, what? Like, we don't record at a normal time. It's always ad hoc somewhere weird.
Yeah.
We'll just, hey, let's fill some content. Let's do a meatball.
Which is one of the things where you're about to talk about bitched about.
Yeah, so there's a podcast called, it's a review podcast called People Who Listen.
No, it's Who Are These Podcasts?
Oh, Who Are These Podcasts?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So let's be honest. They mock people for using like old and tired tropes when they're basically Seinfeld. Who are these podcasts? Who are these people?
And we get reviewed, and they go, they destroyed us.
See, I don't think
talking. They took like little clips out, like every little bit, and they're like we do stupid voices, and they're not any in particular. They're just like what we think they would sound like. Yeah. And they're generic and they're dumb, and I'm not a good at voice impersonator, and I'm the first to admit it. And they're like, oh my God, this guy's so stupid with his stupid voices. And we're like,
so let's
what did I do?
Let's clarify the whole entity of essence of being of their podcast is basically our podcast, but for podcasts.
Nice.
Like, so, right? They are the worst meatball sandwich ever of podcasts.
Their goal is to stop people from podcasting.
So what you're saying is on that day, you were the worst meatball.
We were the worst meatball sandwich that one guy ever had.
But so here's the best part is everything they ripped on, they went, but yeah, we do that too.
These guys are stupid. They do. Oh my God!
Yeah, we do that.
We just
too.
did the same thing. Like they're still morning zoo, but we just
did
morning,
we do that. Yeah,
they're stupid.
3 episodes ago, that was us.
Right,
yeah.
but it was like it's really surreal to listen to someone else like breaking down your voice. Like here's a clip of this dumbass.
Like they went through a good dozen episodes and pulled like a lot of clips, which
did their homework,
which cracked me up.
And they just
I want to know like how much time in their lives was spent dissecting us.
That's a lot. They took clips.
I know, and I know what a pain in the ass
like if
that
they
is.
were like, if you were to be a guy who is going to do a podcast on weird podcasts, worst meatball sandwich ever as a title, you'd be like, we got to do this.
Well, the premise is brilliant. Our execution does lack. We don't do our homework. Like we're not like sitting here doing like 4 hours of prep. We're like,
no, we sit down, we open Yelp, we go.
Right. It's like, let's go meatball. Done.
We sent a PI to do a drive-by of this place.
Right. So when the guy says your execution was lacking, you're like, no shit.
No shit.
That's our charm.
So
apparently I'm going to work on my Cobra Commander impression.
I can't. I'm not going to bother. No, I can't, because it's kind of like the only one that I heard today was Caliendo doing Morgan Freeman doing Baby Got Back, which was one of the funniest things I've
okay.
I can't. I'm not even going to bother trying. But it was, if you go on YouTube right now, it was you saw it like 4
I'll
times.
Give that a look.
One of the things that creeped me out, it was one of the probably the worst stories I've read in a long time. We talk about like we love Amazon, and everybody loves Amazon, and they give us stuff and we want it.
I don't know that we love Amazon.
No, we love the convenience of Amazon.
Purpose. Yes,
it's changed a lot of lives. Meaning I want Funyuns. Funyuns show up on my porch 2 days later.
I have a button that I can push and Funyuns arrive. Yes.
Mailman rings doorbell. Yes. I know there's gifts. It's like Pavlov's dog.
Right.
I got something. I got box. I got a box.
What did Drunk Bob order today?
Oh, I got some stuff.
What did Drunk Bob order 2 days ago?
Oh, it's crappy granola bars. But what they found out is that, like in the UK, for example, in the Amazon warehouse, like if you need to pee, it's like you got to go down like 5 flights of steps and you get dinged because it's like it's very militant on how many boxes you pack in like an hour period. So what they're finding out is people are peeing in their McDonald's cups
and like soda bottles, whatever they happen to have handy. Yeah,
right. So basically, and they're leaving their pee in the warehouse. So meaning all your stuff that's shipped, and they're not wiping their hands obviously because there's no wash room. That all your stuff has pee remnants on them in the UK from the Amazon warehouse, from all your stuff. So it's great.
Good thing that never would happen in America.
No,
we got robots. Robots don't pee.
No, but here's the thing: you got the richest guy in the world. You have one of the biggest companies in the world that it was born out of a garage. It's kind of a great story. They took all their excess compute and created the best cloud company in the universe right now, the AWS. And now you have like the grunt workers on the floor.
Well, but we
like
talked about this.
living in shit.
God, I feel like it has to have been at least a year ago. We talked about this with the U.S. Distribution centers where they were like, basically they're tracked. I mean, they're all like slaved to a Fitbit, and they're tracked based on the number of steps they take versus, how many items they pick and the boxes they ship and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this isn't really breaking news. I mean,
100-degree warehouses.
Yeah.
Well, then someone said, "I don't drink water, so I don't have to pee." Like
that's a little scary. That's how overheating and passing out happens.
It's frightening.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like, granted and that's the thing. Amazon's hiring. Well, great. What's the working conditions, right?
Right.
Like, what do you want at the end of the day? I want to talk about this, and I want to end this segment in this. This is, and I get it, but they're not doing it right, and I don't know how they're going to do it right. So Google is testing, which I think is kind of brilliant.
I think this is awesome.
Well, it is and it isn't because of what
I think it's amazing.
They're testing self-destructing emails where
this email will self-destruct.
Do you know like
in
the
5
people that have
seconds.
like the 85-word signature going, this email cannot be distributed and
Right.
privacy? Well, now Google basically added that functionality where if you want to make it
In the
destructive
Gmail,
in a day, a week, a year.
Well, hey, if Mark Zuckerberg can get it, why can't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we talked about the deleting messages. Yeah, that was amazing.
But basically what it is you can add, it can't be forwarded.
Copied.
It can't be copied.
You literally, and then it will just self-destruct in X number of
Well,
days.
they missed everything except for screen capture.
Well, because you can't do anything about that.
Is that internal to Gmail? Or
No,
is
that's
that,
the new version of Gmail that's coming out. It's in beta right now.
Like if I send it to you at whatever your mail service, is it the same thing where you can't forward it?
So, and that's part of the conversation that's going on is, okay, how does that interact with, say, Outlook? How does that, because once it's in my mail client, your rules don't matter.
Well, let me ask you a question. So if I take a screen cap, is that admissible? Right? Can someone just say photoshopped fake, right? Like they normally do in.
You could.
You follow where I'm going, right?
You absolutely could.
Because like the total, because you ruin the ability because everyone's just going to screen cap
it
everything.
completely changes the laws of discovery and all that kind of nonsense when it comes to, things getting subpoenaed and all that shit. Well, I literally can't pull up that email anymore.
But you're going to have a folder of JPEGs now because some clown hit control print screen.
Right.
MS Paint and Paste. And now I have all of them. But like, again, are those admissible? I don't, maybe, is there an IP lawyer in the house? But that'd be interesting to find out, right?
Yeah.
You know that Gmail in the labs has a drunk email.
Oh, yeah, the Google goggles.
So it's this thing where like if you hit send on an email, you have up to 10 seconds to be like,
yes.
No, what did I say?
Oh, I have that enabled.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Me too.
Well, and you can
all you get is 10 seconds.
Well, no, you can set a time window on it. So you're like, hey, if I'm sending an email after 1 a.m. and before 9 a.m., go ahead and increase that window.
See, now, remove that from email, put that onto text and to Facebook Messenger because I'm not emailing anyone.
Put a breathalyzer on my phone.
Right.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's definitely helped me when I've been like, I customize a form letter or whatever, and you realize you forgot, you sent something out, and it had like the previous person's info on it.
Right. God damn it. Yeah.
So some of the beauties and the worst things about being hungover on a weekend is you get to binge watch. And I totally finished the first season of Lost in Space.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were ending on the last topic. But okay.
No, we're done with that. I totally finished Lost in Space.
I have not even started it yet.
And, there's no spoilers that I'm going to give, but it's just kind of funny how
I feel like I need like a meme for my scumbag brain. Like I need my brain with the scumbag hat on it. That's like the top of the meme is going to be like, hey, there's all these great shows that you want to watch that you have in your queue. Bottom of it is, yeah, but those X-Files episodes that you've already seen 8 times are still here waiting for you.
Right. Well, I think it's funny that Lost in Space 2018 has to go on all Modern Family on us because the Robinsons, Mrs. Robinson comes from a broken marriage and she has a mixed race kid, and then Dr. Smith. So Parker Posey. Now, if you're like from the 90s or 80s, you know who Parker Posey is from, like, yeah, exactly.
Dorothy
Party
Parker
Girl
in The Vicious Circle.
Right. She's Dr. Smith. She's actually really good, but like it's funny how hard they try to include everyone, like a kid's book almost, where like they found other survivors from the shipwreck, and this one's all Asian, and this one's all black, and this one's all like the brown that we don't know what brown they are. Like, it's just like, hey, everybody, there's the redhead family, like the white, like, hey, like, it's just like, what do we do? Like, checkbox. In all honesty, that was really well done. I don't know how many, it's kind of like watching 24 though. It's like, how many effing disasters can you possibly have in a week?
Right.
And they always have boo-boos on their face. It's only spoilers I'm going to give. Like, you watch the whole, like, they still have boo-boos on their face. Like, they have scars. Like, their face is like cuts and like scrapes.
They were in a spaceship crash, Bob.
After. And then they'd heal, and then they'd get another one. Then they'd heal, then they'd get another one. And it's like, there's just stuff going, like life and death, like every minute. Like, but there wasn't any crazy things going on. It just stuff would happen.
Just stuff would happen.
Fall in a hole and, but it's really well
little
done.
Timmy stuck in the well? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. That, and I finished Far Cry 5 finally. I did. I got I didn't finish all the side missions, but if you're a gamer and you're not playing Far Cry 5, shame on you. It's the best out of the series by a long shot. It's the most fun I've had in an open world game, that I've ever, honestly, Grand Theft Auto was fun. This was way more fun. I've had a blast playing this game, and now I'm like sad that my world's free, and now I can only just run around and crash myself into the wall. Like, but
damn, my world is free.
What a great gaming experience! If you haven't played Far Cry 5, definitely pick it up. It's that good.
Cool.
But hey, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be back. Scott and Dan, Penguicon, all things. This is the IT and the D Show.
Really quickly too.
It is. It's the IT and the D Show.
Hey, we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D Show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is segment 2, episode 243 of the IT and the D Show, broadcasting live here on a Tuesday in Studio 1 in Podcast Detroit. Beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That's Dave the Geek.
It still feels weird.
Yeah, I'll be, tomorrow will be the weird one.
Yeah, I'm going to be all thrown off tomorrow, yeah.
Do us a favor, find us online, itinthed.com, where you can find all the things. And hey, IT and the D, this segment, the Penguicon episode, is brought to you by our friends at Udemy, the largest marketplace for online learning. Whether you want to learn something new or sharpen your skills, Udemy has an extensive library. Get this, 65,000 courses taught by expert instructors. If you ever find yourself thinking, I wish I could do that, you can. Now, it's not just IT stuff. From web development to digital marketing to stuff like Japanese cooking courses, Udemy has something for everyone.
I'm intrigued.
I know, right? While other online learning companies charge hundreds of dollars per class, Udemy courses start at just $11.99, and each one comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for risk-free learning.
Even better.
I know, right? Go through a couple weeks, and you're like, this, I don't like this, and right. Everyday students around the world choose Udemy to discover new passions, expand their skills, or even change careers. Do us a favor, improve your life through learning. Download the Udemy app and learn anytime, anywhere, or visit ude.my/IT-in-the-D. That's www.ude.my/IT in the D.
And honestly, I'm glad they included a pronunciation guide because I assumed it was Udemy. Like, hey, it's from Udemy.
Right.
But that's not, it's Udemy.
Udemy.
It's from Udemy.
That's
That's
fine.
what I thought. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. As long as those courses are good, I don't care what they call.
I'm just saying. That's what I thought it was.
Right. No, but it's a good segue from Udemy. Like,
say, speaking of Udemy,
right? No, it's a good segue because like with Penguicon, with the whole thing being, hey, it's if you know something, teach something. We got the team here from Penguicon: Scott Kennedy, Dan Dugan. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. It's our yearly get together and podcast before the storm hits.
All right.
For those that haven't been following us for a while or are not in the know for Penguicon, why don't you
shame on you.
What?
No, if you haven't been following us, shame on you.
No, not shame on you. Hey, we get new listeners. I hope one or two. But yeah, for anyone because I've brought up Penguicon before, and they go, "What the hell is Penguicon?"
I was just having this conversation outside with Dan.
Seriously, yeah,
yeah.
It's
I'll tell you. Let me give you my explanation, and then you can tell me why I'm wrong, and you can correct
you know me
the
so
perception.
well.
No, absolutely. No, so 16, 17 years ago, Penguicon started as a Linux thing, hence the penguin. That's the reality.
That's correct.
And then people went, hey, yeah, I like Linux, but I also like sci-fi, and I also like cosplay, and I also like security. And I also like this. And so over the years, it's kind of morphed. And so now it's like, here we are. And it's still like part geek, it's all geek, but like part tech, part sci-fi, part cosplay, part security, part bondage, part, because the After Dark tracks kick in and then all bets are off. Part room
all
parties.
Bets are off with ID. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. ID required.
So you're very close, except for that this was to some degree planned from the beginning. So
really?
So the people who founded Penguicon went to other sci-fi conventions, and they were more tech oriented, particularly open source software. But they were like, we have some things to teach each other, and I think we'd get along great. We should have a con that is both open source software and tech conference and classic sci-fi convention. And they sort of set up this thing that really encouraged people to try new stuff. So every year new stuff would happen and new tracks would come in as they expanded. And so it started off as just 2 tracks. And then as people would come in and say,
what were the 2 tracks?
Tech and
okay. All right. Fair.
And then people would come in and they'd be like,
Way to keep
but I want to do like liquid nitrogen ice cream. And we were like, how can we not do that? That sounds amazing. And so we would make a new track and fill it up with, in the case of the food track, how to make mozzarella cheese, or a whiskey tasting panel, or a chocolate tasting panel, with experts who would teach these things to people who maybe they were just like regular tech people and had never been to a sci-fi con, or maybe they were a person who was really into like reading sci-fi books, but had not played around with molecular gastronomy or anything like that. Right. So that is basically what's happened. We're at this would be our 16th year.
I believe so.
And,
was close.
And we have like 14 tracks or something like that.
Well, the beautiful thing is
crazy.
It's cheap.
It's crazy.
And no one's getting rich off this.
No, it's all volunteer, community run, which basically means that anybody who is an attendee is a potential future staff, con member, chair, board member, whatever.
Transition likely to get sucked into doing stuff.
Yes. we would like to volunteer you. But it's 500 plus hours of programming in one weekend, which means we have just
it's
an
literally
amount of event space.
Friday afternoon to Sunday afternoon. It's crazy.
And it's about 1,600 people. We keep growing, and there's no way that
I think they were all in our room last year for our party.
Yeah,
Saturday night, yeah, absolutely.
Literally, like I tried to slide in sideways. I was like, I need to be a thinner person to get into this room. But you cannot go to all of the things that you want to go to, even
no, you
if
can't.
if you're just like, I'm purely tech, I just want to go for informational purposes. Oh, this panel that's being taught by 20-year veterans in IT about how to sort of like break into the field or whatever. Like, I want to go to that and Python and stuff like that. You still have 100 hours around of tech programming, right? Is that correct?
In 48 hours.
More than, right.
Yeah.
So there's literally just not enough time to do everything you want at this event, which is the joy of it for me. Like at any moment being like, I want to go to like 4 different things. What do I want to go to more?
I felt like that the last 2 years. Yeah, I was like, I want to do
Bob,
that.
let's be honest. The most I heard out of you, I just want to go to bed.
If it was Saturday, yeah, it depended what day. Sunday, indeed. Saturday, I was like,
Well, after the 20th PBR. What are you gonna do?
20th? Are you kidding me? Then more than that. So what can people expect in terms of the tracks? Getting into a little bit more detail. What are some of the specifically? Because I always thought I'm reading through the tracks and some of them were so bizarre, but totally intriguing to me. Like shillelagh fighting for novices. Wait, what? It reminded me of UHF when they were doing all the TV shows.
Hey Stanley, you want a show?
Well, that's
It was like volcanoes for druids. Wait, what the hell's going on here?
Most of our programming is submitted by our attendees, and we'll help them. We'll introduce them to other experts in the field to get a bigger panel or whatever. But we have a large group of people in the Metro Detroit area who are super passionate about everything you can possibly imagine. And if you're passionate and you've got some knowledge to impart, we're like, come do it.
Yeah, Penguicon is different every year. And that's what's amazing about Penguicon is we have brand new people that are coming, they heard about Penguicon, they heard about it from IT and the D. They're like, I'm going to throw a geeky burlesque show on Friday. And we're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
We're going to do lockpicking. Let's do it. It's all about capturing enthusiasm.
We've got a networking CTF event this year. So, people will get together and
capture the flag for those playing at home.
They'll do a hacking and network.
It's from Merit, who's a frequent guest on our show.
Exactly. Yeah. The Cyber Defense Range,
which is
powered by Merit, and they're amazing people. They do, nonprofits. They help secure nonprofits across the state and across the country, and they're putting on a whole day's worth of CTF events for attendees.
Yeah, and we didn't have that last year.
It's brand new.
It's brand new, and it's part of the joy of working on it is seeing somebody come up with this idea, and they'll come into one of our ConCom meetings and be like, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really, I haven't been doing this as a staffer, so maybe you're not going to listen to me." And they'll mention this amazing idea, and we're like, let's make it happen as long as you're willing to volunteer.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're willing to take point on that, we're in.
Yeah, that's how we have our own bookstore, a staff-run bookstore.
Yeah.
In previous years, oftentimes in a dealer room, you'll have one company that's selling books, but they only sell the books that are the cheapest for them to get from their distributor. And we're like, well, that doesn't help out our guests of honor who need a specific set of books for the people to buy. And it doesn't help out all of the people who come to our event who are aspiring authors who have ebooks that they can get prints of and stuff like that. And so we said, well, why don't we say, if you bring your books to us, we will find out about them from you, and we will help people find the books that they're interested in at our location, and we'll sell them, and we'll give the money back to you completely free.
It's amazing.
We don't take any cut off of it. We take sales tax, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But beyond that, it is just a service that we provide to our attendees, just like anything else,
Well, so, and to me, I guess let's talk about the things that blew our mind the most about Penguicon.
Well, let me add to that. One of the favorite things I ever wrote in my life was the blog I wrote after we got back from our very first Penguicon.
Right.
To me,
where we thought we were going to be cool with a Bluetooth speaker and a few bottles of Valentine vodka.
Not even that. Not even that. It was the cross section of humanity that I didn't. Not that I didn't understand. It was
my world.
Yeah, I didn't mind understanding, but I was in culture shock. I grew up the suburbanite,
type A sales guy,
big
frat
boy
booming voice,
environment.
yeah.
And then I ran into people that are either socially awkward or didn't quite get me, which is, I'm in a room I'm a networking guy. I'm in a room. I want to meet everyone. I'm the Rodney Dangerfield at the dinner at Caddyshack. You live alone, walking around, patting everybody in the back. And I kind of had to take a step back and go, whoa, and learn.
No, that was the thing. I do. I remember you were sitting down on the stoop outside the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Ferret actually, because that's when I was catching up with him. And I was like, dude, you all right? Because like, you just had this weird look on your face. You were like, no, I'm good. I've just realized that this is your people. I'm just gonna no, and you're like, I just need to sit back and watch for a while.
Yeah, and it wasn't that I wasn't like I didn't accept it. It was that I
so you didn't accept it. You didn't know.
Yeah, and it was like I would go make conversations with the people, and they would like freak out and run away from me. I'm like, oh my god! Like it was just for me, it was a big eye opening experience, and I thought it was great. And there's nothing about it that I wouldn't do all over again. But at the same token, it was a world that opened up to me that I didn't know existed. This whole like green sticker, talk to me, yellow sticker, only if I'm only for friends, red sticker, don't talk to me. I hate your guts.
Well, so we've got interaction stickers, and the reason that we have them is that some people who come to these events aren't there necessarily to make new friends. Like that talking to a random stranger is anxiety producing for some people. And
to me, that's my psychiatry. Like I go to bars by myself and have conversations with randoms.
And so I'm a green sticker myself, right?
Well, no, do you ever like Fight Club? It's my self-service, like my quick serve, like they're single serve friends. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they're gone. And I'll never, maybe I'll see them 2 years later and go, hey man. Right. But like for me, I get to dump out whatever I need to dump out, and they do it too, and then they're gone.
Right. So I'm an extrovert. My wife's an introvert, right? So she will talk to you. I mean, she's not going to not talk to you, but she'll be comfortable talking to you if she's already met you, she already knows you, whatever. And she's not like as outgoing as I am. So she might wear like a yellow sticker possibly to basically mean like, if we already have an established relationship, that's fine. If you just think that like I have cool hair and you want to start up a conversation, then maybe you should talk to somebody else, right?
Right.
And it means that she can have the most enjoyable Penguicon experience for her. And same for you. Like if it's a real bummer when you're like, maybe this is
and when somebody runs away. Yeah.
You walk over and somebody runs away. Like this gives you an opportunity to figure out who will be receptive to that kind of conversation.
They put me on a panel, and this is when I knew my first year there, they put me on a panel called Flirting for Geeks.
I'm on that this year.
And for one, I don't really consider myself a geek per se, right? I'm in IT, I like sci-fi, I'm into stuff, but I'm all over I'm out there, And then for two, I've been with the same woman for 22 years.
Sure.
So like flirting, like you want to talk to me about talking to anybody about anything all day.
Yeah.
So here I am on this panel going, what am I doing up here? But I felt completely at ease and at home, just like, hey, it's not that big. Like you don't need have anxiety to say something to someone.
Right.
You really don't.
And part of what that panel is about is explaining to people who have a really narrow idea of what interaction is.
Or of what flirting is.
Right. That you can enjoy yourself. You can have a fun conversation with somebody where you're connecting. And some might say that it's flirting, right? But you're just doing it for the fun of it. And that leads to a much more natural interaction. And hearing that helps geeks who, like myself, who maybe, in an earlier time in my life would have a hard time figuring that out. Cause I think, the only time I can talk to a girl is if I want to be like, do you want to go out or
dude,
whatever?
She said hi. She must be into me. No.
Right,
Wait, did we get kicked off of that panel? Because we were on it for like 2 years in a row.
It's like me in Catholic school. I think we were invited not to re-enroll for the following year.
I think Nuri felt he was too close to you already. He talks to you every day.
Right.
But anyway, so it's just one of those things. Like, our After Dark panels are also ways for people to kind of get to know people who are into, let's say, kinky stuff in a way that doesn't feel, like you're propositioning somebody or having them proposition you. You know?
Well, like that was my first. Here I am. I'm out there. I think I'm pretty worldly, and I had no idea what polyamory was.
Sure.
Right. So I'm like, what that? Like I sent Darshan up. I'll never forget. I go up to it's like 10 o'clock. We're at the bar. And I go, dude, go up to polyamory because I have no clue what it is.
Just take notes. Come back.
I didn't even feel like Googling it. Yeah.
Yeah,
remember that.
mean that's
I remember.
And for some people that's part of their life, and we are an inclusive event where we say as long as you respect other people and respect that other people may not be interested in what you're interested in and may be interested in things that you're not in, then you are welcome.
Dude, and that should, like, so I can't tell you how many times I've had this, like, that should just be a basic philosophy of life. Like, let's be honest. Dude, we all have our kinks.
Yeah.
As long as your kinks don't interfere with my kinks, live your life. Who cares?
Well, that was one of the funny things. I had two friends that I grew up with that I said, hey, we're having this room party, 80s music, come and hang out. And my buddy looks at me and he goes, there's like 50% women, 50% guys. There's like 2 dinosaurs. There's like 3 6'4" guys cross-dressing, like not doing a good job of cross-dressing either. And there's like the guy dressed up like this and someone dressed up like that. And it was just, and he looks at me and goes, like, WTF? And I go, isn't this awesome? And he goes, yeah. You know what I mean? It was just like this cross section of humanity you never experienced.
The Venn diagram is amazing.
It's not like you can go to the mall and see the same people. Like, this is like glorious people watching.
Well, and because it's people that are comfortable. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, and everybody's happy.
When you say it is okay to be yourself in this space, whatever it is, this hotel. You can be whatever, do whatever you want to do, and no one is going to care. No one's going to be offended.
You're stupid. You're dumb.
Yeah, there's none of that. Yeah.
No. As soon as you do that, that gives you the space to find commonalities with somebody that you wouldn't expect. So when you teach an IT, event, and you see Tron guy sitting in the front row, you're like, this guy who I saw running around in costume all weekend, I thought he was, quote unquote, I thought he was just this like silly cosplayer or whatever. And then you realize, no, he's a technical person with an entire life that never occurred to me. That happens over and over and over again when you come to Penguicon, is you meet somebody and you're like, that person was dressed up in an inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex costume inside the elevator.
We're just going to skip over the Tron guy commentary.
Yeah.
I've made more friends, in panels than I ever have at parties, right? So there is a commonality that gets established inside of that conversation.
See, nobody talks to the DJ. Except they want to say play, a hot take on me or something.
Everybody talks to the bartender.
Right.
But no, dude, like, I'm not like the people that I met over the past few years at Penguicon are some of the people that I've had just the best, deepest, coolest conversations with, like about life, the universe, and everything. And even if I don't see them but once every 3 months or once every, whatever, there's always that instant click. Yeah. We're like, yep, I know you from here. And that's the funny part is like, and it's happened where like, I'll be at another event or I'll be someplace else. Hey, I know you. Like, and hey, I know you. Like, Penguicon. All right, cool.
Last year I got someone who's basically your Bob. And I'm like, what? And they listen to the podcast.
You were walking around in your PBR peacock jacket.
Right. So. because that's my announcement. Like, don't talk to me because I'm the loud guy. Like, I'm Tommy One Wingy. Give me 10 feet around in circumference,
So there's like 10 people who run it throughout the year, essentially, who spend time over
a lot of time.
Oh, an incredible amount of time. I mean,
do those ConCon meetings,
for
just
some
of
people,
themselves, the ConCon meetings are crazy.
Well, the ConCon meetings, we try to keep them down to like 3 hours and then tack a party on afterwards to keep people interested in coming, right? But that happens, like maybe once a month or so until we get near the event.
I always have to miss the party part because it's always like when there's crap going on here. Like I show up just like have those conversations and I'm like, damn it, I gotta go.
By the way, this takes place at the Southfield Westin. We're having a ConCon meeting for Penguicon this next Sunday. So
because you guys got hit by the ice storm too.
We did. It was supposed to be last Sunday. I should mention, as long as we're talking about it, that Penguicon occurs this year between May 4th and May 6th, Friday to Sunday, at the Southfield Westin. If you don't have a ticket now, that's fine. If you want to go for a single day, you can. If you want to get a whole weekend, it's $60, and we have a con suite with like snacks and food and drinks.
The best con suites.
Beer, cider, like it's good.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a break. We'll dive back more into this year specifically.
You want to get into content? Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll take a quick break. This is the IT and the D Show.
Hey, we'll be right back with more Penguicon.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
itinthed.com.
Welcome back. Segment 3, episode 243, the Penguicon Show. This is the IT and the D Show, broadcasting live here on a Tuesday in Studio One in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Bob the Sales Guy, Dave the Geek. Find us online, itandthed.com, because we are IT and the D.
And you, yeah, you're still not.
We love you.
No matter how hard you try.
Muy, muy.
Mwah. Hey, so before we dive in, the single router Wi-Fi model just doesn't work for our increasingly high bandwidth world. What you need is a distributed system like Eero. Whatever your Wi-Fi needs, Eero has the power to seamlessly blanket your home in fast, reliable Wi-Fi via Ethernet, wireless, or any combination. Simply set it on a flat surface or plug it into a wall outlet to expand coverage into any room. Not to mention, with the addition of the third 5 gigahertz radio, the second generation Eero is now tri-band and twice as fast as its predecessor, which lets customers do more in every room of their home simultaneously. With the addition of a new thread radio, Eero can now connect to low-power devices such as locks, doorbells, and other sensors. Meanwhile, Eero Beacon is half the size but is even more powerful than the original Eero. So whatever model you choose, with Eero's incredible customer support, you can call and get a hold of a Wi-Fi expert within 30 seconds. Dude, I know you have this in your house. I have this in my house. It saves my ass on a daily basis with my kids.
Well, I have one on every floor.
Yep.
Right, a 3-story house, right? I'm talking like a Greg Brady attic.
Yep.
I have canaries, I have IoT devices, I have Nests, I have tablets, I have phones, I have computers, I have PCs, I have work PCs, I have desktop PCs, I have gaming PCs. I got TVs that are hooked up to the internet.
Mm-hmm. Got smart TVs, you get to, yeah.
And it has been 100% flawless ever since I've ever plugged these things in.
I have never, other than when I use the app to turn, say, my kid's TV off from internet access, I've never heard a problem.
Well, that's the thing. I turn my kids off at 8:30, and I hear,
"Oh yeah,
Father, can I please have some
can
more?
I have some more?
Like,
I'd like some more internet, please.
If they don't have school tomorrow,
7 more YouTube videos,
it's
Father.
It's a snow day. Can I have some more internet? No.
So, hey, for free overnight shipping to the U.S. or Canada, visit Eero.com. That's EERO.com. Select overnight as the shipping option and enter IT and the D, all one word, as checkout. That's Eero.com, EERO.com. Offer code IT and the D at checkout. Thanks, guys.
Highly recommend it.
Love your stuff.
Absolutely.
So we talked, I feel like, so we talked about like the badge markers and all that stuff. And we kind of lightly skimmed across inclusion. Mm-hmm. Which is like, so I remember like when we were standing there the first time, you were like, dude, the word inclusive is everywhere, on every poster, on everything. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of the point.
Well, you remember?
I never had to deal with that before.
Right.
You remember when you were describing your friend, describing your room party? So
yeah.
It was like 50% men, 50% women, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a tech conference and a sci-fi convention. Both of those things are not known for having a ton of women at them.
True.
And part of the reason for that is that those spaces traditionally have not been super welcoming,
right,
to women or people of different genders, or even people of non-white races.
Yeah, no, true.
And at Penguicon, we make an effort to say that that those people are just as much a part of our community as anybody else, and that means multiple things, including.
It's like, hey, Chewbacca's here. One of us. Like, I mean, that's totally like in a nutshell,
right? So if somebody we have like there's a party, one of our 3 floors of room parties that we usually have. There's often a Stitch and Bitch party where people who, just want to sit down and break out the yarn and whatever. They're still probably talking tech.
Yeah.
Or
it's crochet, needlepoint, whatever. And they're just yakking. Yeah.
Firefly or whatever. But, we say, you make it happen. And what you want matters. So, if you want a panel to talk about the awesome African Americans in sci-fi,
submit your panel.
Yeah. Right. And we'll make it happen.
See, honestly, I think that's one of the coolest things about it. I mean, it's kind of like, like we've always said about, whether it's IT and the D or Podcast Detroit, dude, we're not for everybody, and that's okay. because if we're not, go do. Like, by all means, make it happen. We'll probably even help you. And like, that's the cool thing about, what this is, like all the room parties and that kind of stuff. Like, because we heard a little bit of the blowback about our parties. And
what blowback?
They were loud and it's 80s. And those
Not
guys
for everyone.
getting everybody drunk. Man.
This is why we have quiet floors.
And not only that, but like, okay.
That's a compliment, by the way.
Well, yeah, I know, to us, yeah. But again, we're not for everybody, and that's okay because there's 3 floors of room parties that go find what's you.
If you can hear our music from like 12 doors down,
I think, and Bob, let's be honest, and 3 floors up, I think was the record.
Someone bitched that was like 9 floors up because the bass reverberated through the windows. But like, you can't bitch that it's too loud because you already know if you go in, it's on you at that point because you know what you're getting into.
Yes.
Dark room, like everybody's
flashing lights,
right?
80s music,
right? You hear the 80s music. You can't bitch about the 80s music.
Yeah. Yeah, people checking ID. Dude, and honestly, like, that's one of the cool things is it is a very responsible environment on top of everything else. Like, I mean, we had like 4 rotating people last year that were like, checking IDs and that kind of stuff at the door because there are hotel management is floating around.
Yep.
Cops are floating around, making sure that everybody stays above board and on the level.
And you have people stealing Fifth Jägermeister out of your...
Well, that's only if they're handicapped reporters from Channel 4. Just
So we have an operations team that's available 24/7. Our con committee, commits to being available 24/7.
Dude, Ops does a great job. They really, really do. I know we had one issue and they were on it.
That's really the thing is like they care. They want to make sure that, people don't have problems, but they're not there to pretend like nothing happens. They're there to solve issues and to escalate if necessary in order to make sure that everybody feels safe. That's one of the things that when you have a place for adults that has drinking, then you need to have signs up to remind people that before you go up and give somebody you don't know a hug, you need to ask. You need to have a team available to deal with, what happens if somebody wanders down to the lobby and they are having a hard time staying upright. Like they're not just there to be like, you can't be here. They're there to be like, are you all right?
Yeah. Hey, let's get you some coffee. Do
we need to call somebody? That kind of thing. So we are a family, and that's what happens when you're a nonprofit community run event like this, because, I, as a staff member, am no better or worse than some other person. That person may end up being in my position next year.
Well, and that was one of the things that was new to me, was because for 11 years I worked at one of the most rowdy bars in town, the old Post Bar by Joe Louis Arena. And if somebody was too drunk, what did you do? You grabbed him by the neck and you threw him out the door and you pulled the door shut. Right? If someone was really belligerent, you cut him off. Like, there was no like, let me help you. Those weren't the days of let me call you a taxi, right?
Yeah, let me get you an Uber.
Those days didn't exist. So it's great. I think I've always been in awe of what the community does in terms of looking out for people and just being something that doesn't exist out there. Because again, everything is a pretty cruel place, and this is like a super amazing culture that everybody's worked very hard
friends, right? So these are the people that we have known for the last 3 years or 2 years. When Dave came back, when Dave was at his first Penguicon, it was a homecoming for him. He saw people that he hadn't seen for 10 years. So
that was one of the, and it's in some cases, but like that was, like I said, I was catching up with Ferret. Dude, he was the best man at my first wedding. And then he moved off to Alaska because that's where Ginny was, and yada, yada, yada. And then they moved back local, and like we had chatted via email every now and then. But like when I saw him standing there in the lobby, I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, and so like that's the coolest part of it is you will run into people that it's, even if you don't know them yet, odds are good you're going to wind up being friends. Like there's a lot of, I can't tell you how many times it was almost like, God, what was it? Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends? Yeah, I think we did.
And we live, as a convention, we live to make that possible. We provide these spaces for people to make connections. We have our Ubuntu release party usually in the bar, where people who, can mingle and connect on.
Well, that's why I was laughing, because I'm looking at this flyer here and I'm looking Ubuntu party. I'm like, man, you guys are crazy.
It's pretty hopping, actually. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Our chair, her father is an electrical engineer, and he's bringing electric cars, including one that he fashioned together from a kit. We have intro to coding classes. We have robot building. We have drone races this year.
We have,
where?
It's Detroit Drone. So they're
right.
downtown, and they.
We've had them on the
No,
show
but I mean,
before.
where is the racing going to be?
In the
around the towers
garage.
on the garage. Oh, cool.
The parking garage.
That's a perfect spot.
That's awesome.
So we got 20 people signed up right now. We're going to pick up some more, and they got trophies. It's going to be an awesome event.
So I saw you got a little bit of blowback for Geeks with Guns.
Well, so Geeks with Guns is a thing that happens just before the event, essentially. People sign
Off-site.
up. They sign up, they go off-site to a local range where there are experts who teach people who are new how to shoot, or allow people to, obviously bring their own to the range. And there's a lot of good conversation that happens there.
Sure.
Some people... especially with the gun violence that's been happening lately, I've said, is this an appropriate thing? And we've essentially said it is another way that people geek out, and that in a safe environment, it is perfectly acceptable.
Well, it's a way to learn more than what CNN tells you.
Well, right. Just
as a marksman shooter and a target shooter, I applaud that, because there's safe environments and it's sport. And it can be fun. Granted, I understand their point too. But no, I applaud you guys continuing with it.
I mean, our hotel doesn't allow guns in the hotel. That's their policy, and we respect that inside of the hotel. But at the same time, we still provide a space for people who are passionate about an interest to go do that. And
because again, inclusion.
Right. I mean, inclusion can
take the good to take the bad, to take them both, and there you have.
Thank you, Mrs. Garrett.
So we have a huge retro arcade that comes every year, and that is a great process where we pull together old televisions. And, Ataris and Nintendos and everything like that.
The computer lab is getting an upgrade. Scott and I worked on the first Penguicon computer lab back in 2016. You guys' first year.
Yeah.
And then we have brand new laptops there. And you could come in fresh off the streets and learn to build a website, learn Python. We have several panels on Pygame. You learn how to secure your Facebook inside our computer lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever
So bring your mom.
wanted
Bring your
to
mom to Penguicon.
walk into a room and feel like you have stepped onto the Starship Enterprise's center stage?
No.
Like, not talking to you.
It's a It's a Star Wars crowd here.
Yeah,
No.
right. It's called Artemis, and it is an amazing setup that the Lansing Maker Network brings to us, and it has consoles that really make you feel like you're on a spaceship, and a big center display. And you and 4 or 5 of your friends can take on the stations that you might see on like the Enterprise, right? So,
Cool.
You have science officers.
yeah.
You have
When
people are loading in the photon torpedoes to your left. You're like, shoot.
If
They're like,
you're-
I'm drunk.
right? And if you're playing the captain, you have to tell other people what to do. Like, you don't get to do it yourself. You have to be the teamwork to make it happen.
I feel like that's taken on a whole new twist with this season of Black Mirror.
So many bad Shatner impersonations. I can just see it already. Like,
as captain, I have accidentally backed over so many landmines. Gotta tell you.
I feel like it's the story of our lives.
Right.
Oops,
are they
never
doing
mind.
the MS? We got thrown out. The only time we ever got thrown out of a panel.
We didn't get thrown out. We were
We were asked to leave nicely.
not to re-enroll.
It was the MST3K
Oh yeah.
on a bad movie, and I feel like we should recreate that and like pick our own movie.
You know what? That actually, we haven't had that for a couple of years.
We made them quit.
It's not our fault. We were funnier than the guy that was
bad movie night. Do your own bad movie night. MST3K it yourself. You know.
I don't know when we would have time to do that.
Oh my God, Toxic Avenger! I want to do it.
So let's be real. So we've got Friday. Luckily, light day. We got one thing. We're doing Worst Meatball live. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be about the West End and about the hotel. Let's be real. Saturday, we got 11 a.m., the dating corollary. 12 p.m., guess what? About getting guests on podcasts and stuff. At 1 p.m., indie podcasting. 2 p.m., podcasting 101. 4 p.m., 10 commandments of networking. 5 p.m., the accidental entrepreneur. 7 p.m., tech interviewing demystified. 9 p.m., our party.
Wait, are we doing a party Friday night and Saturday night?
Yeah. Why would we change that?
I don't know, for crying out loud.
It's May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
And then Revenge of the 5th. And don't forget, Saturday morning we have to run around and put little packets of mayonnaise in all the sinks.
Yes.
Because it's Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
That's awful.
Do you have a
so many
Sunday
ways.
schedule or Sunday just recovery?
No, Sunday. What are we doing Sunday? Sunday
up and go
was
home.
no, and I just closed my calendar.
No, whatever it is, I'm not doing it.
No, you absolutely are, because it's one of the ones that we actually care about.
And kiss my ass.
Is the path. So the whole getting into a career in IT and our career academy stuff.
Bitch.
And
That's an important
Don't
one.
forget, Sunday at our closing ceremonies, which happens in the afternoon, we will have a raffle for charity.
Yeah.
So even though we are a charity, we sponsor a charity that is not us. And we ask people to donate and get tickets, and we have a bunch of prizes. This year's charity is DAPSEP, which is a 40-year charity in Detroit that helps to teach underrepresented youth STEM.
Awesome.
So they have done an incredible job. If you ever check out their website at dapsep.org, you'll see that they do a lot of great work. And they're
DAPSEP?
DAPCEP.
Okay.
And they're connected to like every great university you can imagine, and all the local institutions essentially. So we again take no overhead. Any money that we accumulate, and we've already separately accumulated some money through our work, like our chair through a little private showing of Ready Player One before it was available, and any money that was made from that is going directly to the charity. So anyway, yeah, 100% of the money, the proceeds for this raffle go directly to this charity.
Very cool. Well, and we can't. I'd be remiss if we didn't mention the ribbons.
Oh boy.
The ribbons are where all the fun is. Well, not where all the fun is, but where a lot of the fun is.
Did you guys get your order in this year?
Yeah.
Well,
they hate me.
If you find me at Penguicon, I have a super special secret ribbon that I have a limited number of.
Nice.
Super special?
Yeah.
I want it.
Made a little graphic for it and everything.
Nice. But yeah, so the ribbons are like, they've got a little sticky and they attach to your badge, and some people wind up with like just trails of ribbons hanging down to their ankles. It's amazing.
Right. So speaking of inclusion and interest and stuff like that, one of the ribbons that we have is it's sort of an interaction ribbon,
which I totally did not understand.
No,
because I found the ribbon away from the poster. No. So I found the ribbon away from the poster, and I was like, "Oh, sweet ribbon!" And I put it on, and like I didn't black anything out.
It just looks like a bunch of letters, right?
Right.
But this poster tells you what it's for, which is to let people know, if you want, like you don't have to take the ribbon unless you're you, but you black out the letters that don't apply to you. And if you're interested in meeting up with men or women or other genders or whatever, then you mark that on your ribbon. If you want just friendship, you're like, hey, don't touch me. You can mark that by just crossing off everything
just
else.
An old fashioned.
If you're looking to just hook up, this is one way. I mean, adults at cons hook up, right? So
no,
you just mark the ribbon to be like, that's all I want, and people can look at a glance and
you're that guy.
Yeah. I don't know how that will work out with your friends, but yeah. So ribbons are cool.
It is. It's a ton of fun, and again, so I mean, we're coming up. So we're 3 weeks away. 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, May 4th. So it's
Coming up.
startlingly soon.
That's going to be it, dude. And it's just, we're going to be exhausted again, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing every year. But we look forward to it more than anything. But hey, we're going to wrap things up for this episode.
Well, and so
Penguicon.org.
Penguicon.org.
Penguicon.org is a place to go. Our programming is up now, so you can look at our many hundreds of hours of programming. Registration is done at the door. We start around 5 o'clock on Friday, May 4th.
And it's Penguicon. There's no N at the end.
That's right, not Penguin Con.
There's an N at the end.
No, there's an N at the end.
Con.
Yes,
but
Penguicon.
Con.
An N in the pen as well.
Yeah. Oh, and if you go to YouTube and you search "What is Penguicon," there's
That was a great
3-minute
video.
Thank you. I made it myself.
It's one of Nuri's early works.
Yeah, well, he was the
MC.
he was the chair to be.
Yeah.
But it was the first time we heard his melodious voice and realized that guy is going to be a star.
He's going to be a voiceover guy someday.
Yeah, so
He's going to be on the best IT podcast in Detroit that records on Monday nights.
So
or Tuesday nights.
Google "What is Penguicon" and look at the YouTube video. That is a great introduction to who we are, and you can kind of figure out, is this the thing that I want to go to?
You do. The answer is yes. You do.
So hey, thank you.
There's not a single person that I've told about it that went, doesn't sound like it's for me. Not one.
I'm in. But hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Episode 243, the Penguicon episode. I'd like to thank Scott Kennedy, Dan Dugan for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We look forward to hanging out with you and spending more time at the conference. Also like to thank Microsoft, Udemy, and Eero for keeping the lights on. Couldn't do without you. On behalf of Bob and Dave, do us a favor, drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. Drive careful. See you next week. Beat it.
See you guys.
Farewell.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Root.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe on the truth.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. Are we at a break yet?
Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.